Okay, so we're back with the Phoenix flasher now to do the system like I've got it set up. So, Phoenix flasher, just a few things about this that I learned along the way. It's a neat item, but it's a very touchy item. So we're going to go into that in just a sec here. So basically, I'm going to show you here. So we got a pen and paper handy. You can write this down if it makes more sense to you when you're looking at it. Okay, so I have the Phoenix flasher. Now what I've got set up here, these are the outputs. Okay, you can set this up however you want. Also, I do it just right side, left side. So I got right side and left side power here. This powers up my whole right side. This powers up my whole left side. So, way you wire it up is the powers that you took from each of the lights from one side go to here. Powers from the other ones go to here. That's how you do your signals for that. When you power up the flasher itself, this is directly to my fuse panel, because when you have nothing telling what mode it is, because this is your modes, okay? These three, you have three modes. Pattern 1 is the main mode. Pattern 2, if turned on while 1 is on, it will override it, and same with 3 to 2 and 1. So your highest one will override everything prior to it. That's how I got to override my flashers, or my strobes when it's on. So strobes went to mode 1, and my overrides to switch the flash pattern to a turn signal flash is mode 2. Okay? So power to the fuse panel, or fuse block, because it will not power up unless a mode is powered up, or grounded, because that's where the funny part comes to this thing. If you ground these, it'll also turn it on too. That's how smart this thing is. So you can set it up that way. And then you've got a mode sync changer pattern here. Now if you do it with this flasher, if you set up your power, or your lights, I should say, with this flasher, you can get rid of one more wire. You don't have to run a sync wire to all your lights, because this takes care of your syncing of all the lights. Okay? So all you need to do then is run power from all three from the right side to one wire and all three to the left side to one wire. Leave the sync wire taped up for each light. You don't need to do anything with it. What I do is I set the mode to constant on each of the lights. That's how I have them set up, constant on, because this takes care of the on-off function. So with that being said, I'm going to turn these on, because it's going to show you on the flasher what it's doing. Turn that on. Okay. Okay, notice what I've got going there. Focus is in, okay? I'm flashing actually in all four, but I'm only using the 2, okay? So that's what's happening with my side-to-side lights right now. Is basically that's the ones we're working with, okay? So right now, the way this is set up is I put power to this mode wire. For mode 1 is what it's going to say. Get this to turn off. Mode 1 is right here. You can't read it very well. So the power is going to this one. Nothing's coming to the ground yet here. So what I've got now is this is set up with my power, my strobe switch. That's where this is coming from. Now, when I go to turn signal, okay, just turn on left signal for a second. Notice how I went to just a flashing. But you see there's both flashing, right? But I only have one flashing. How'd I do that? Alright. That's where these extra relays come in. So what I did is I've got power going through these. Grab one of these relays here again. Remember how I talked before about the center being powered up all the time? Well, that's what we're going to do this time. So I hooked this terminal, which is normally my power wire, coming out of here, going to this terminal right here, and then out to my lights from the center terminal. So now when it's not powered up, this is just basically a connector. This flows through between this one and this one. Center pin and bottom pin flows through. But when I power it up, my turn signal switch, it'll actually energize this terminal and go to the upper one for power. But if you notice, I got nothing running to my power one right now. I'm going to tape this up, of course. But I just killed my center circuit, which feeds the opposite side. That side's dead. That side's live. So when I flip it to the other side, one relay dies, the other one comes on. And now I'm going to the other relay, which kills this side. Hopefully it makes sense. So, again, both of them, either one of these relays kick in, it powers up my center relay, which again, same relay, but I hooked it up with grounds because here's the goofy part. I ran into an issue. This thing's so sensitive that if I have a switch on here and I power up another one, just the current overflow from and it's a milliamp. It picks it up. It's stray voltage. It's enough to ignite this. So every time I was trying to get it to work, I couldn't get it to work because it was always playing mode 2 for me. I couldn't figure it out until I found out there's just a very, very small little milliamp of voltage coming through there. So I had to turn this into a ground instead to make my system work. And in fact, I recommend doing grounds for all of these if you do it. But again, you do it the same way. Instead there, I put ground to this and ground to the outer pin, so that when either one of these relays light up, it's going to energize this coil and flip the switch from my center pin to the outer pin, which basically makes these two connected and puts it to a ground. And that ground goes to here to ignite mode 2. Mode 2 will always come on, whether I've got this switch off or on, or this switch off or on, which I just turned it off. Now that's my power. Turn off my strobes. Okay. Everything's deactivated, of course. Okay. So keep in mind, all the lights on this side of the vehicle are one wire. All the lights on this side of the vehicle are the other wire. So we'll go into my reverse lights here, because like I stated before, the uppers are a dual LED, so they're amber and white light. So that introduces another wire on our fusion lights, and I'll show that here in the next video.